Right, hello everyone, Vortex here, coming at you with a brand new video. This is something I've not featured on the channel before. But I'm going to show you how you can mod a Nintendo Switch, and this does work as of 2026. And first things first, you're just going to need a Nintendo Switch that is not patched, because this is a soft mod. If it's patched, then you'd have to do it by installing a mod chip, which would involve a lot of soldering and a lot of faff, etc. Now you can go to is my Switch patched. I should have had this site open at the ready. Yeah, so if we go to this website, you can check if your Switch is hackable. So you have to look at the serial number, which will be located in the bottom left hand corner of the Switch, right on the very bottom where the USB-C adapter is, in the left hand corner. Now it'll start off with like XA or X something, and this is how to see if it's patched or potentially patched or unpatched. Now if it's unpatched or potentially patched, you can feel free to try this. I mean, if it is patched, you know, if it turns out it's patched, if it's on this list, then it just means it just won't work. You're not going to brick your Switch or anything like that. It is perfectly safe to try. That being said, obviously do try it at your own risks. I'm not responsible for anyone that does get their accounts banned or anything like that if they mess up or whatever. But that being said, let's get on with it. So you're also going to need one of these. It's an RCM jig. You'll be able to find these on places like Amazon for very cheap, or you can do it using like the paperclip method, but that is not recommended because it can like cause short circuits and things like that. But this is the recommended method, which does work. So I'll be using one of those. I'm also going to need this software, Tegra RCM GUI, in order to inject the payloads onto the Switch to be able to load the custom firmware. And everything you need will be in my Discord. And then I'm going to need this FAT32 format, the GUI format. So you have to format our micro SD card to go in the Switch, and it has to be FAT32. So as you can see, I've got an empty drive here for the micro SD. So yeah, you're going to need to be able to get that into the PC somehow, whether it's by an SD card adapter or a micro SD to USB. So yeah, I've got this open at the ready. I've called it Switch SD. You can call it whatever you like. I click Start to get that formatted. Yeah, I need to close it first. You mean it's being used? Where is it being used? It is not being used unless I have to close Explorer completely. Let's just close out File Explorer and now try it. There we go. Okay, so now that is formatted into FAT32. So what I can now do is eject that. Actually, no, we're not going to eject it yet. We've got to put the files on it first, even though it'll end up being erased. So let's just check that is now FAT32. Yes, it is. I don't know why the new name won't come up there, but never mind. So I'm just going to go to where all the things are. Excuse the mess. So everything is all put together exactly as it's needed for you, so you don't have to move anything around or anything like that, etc. I'm just checking everything is as it should be. That's good. So all you really need to do is copy all that, paste it onto the micro SD, and while it's doing that, I will mention as well, in terms of the micro SD card, it is recommended to have, I would say, at least 128 gigabytes. I mean, it can work with smaller ones, but obviously, if you want to put games and stuff on that, it is good to have a bigger one. I'm using a 256 gigabyte one, so that should be plenty of space. Okay, that's done. I'm going to eject that, and I'm going to move over to the switch in a moment. So I'm just going to put the micro SD card into this switch. Okay, I've got the micro SD card in the switch. We'll move over to the switch and I will show you what you need to do next. Okay guys, I'm now over the switch. As you can see, I've removed this right Joy control. Now what we need to do is take this RCM jig and we need to slide it in here. Sorry, it's a bit awkward while I'm holding the phone to do this. So if I just move over here, whoops, and then we slide that in there like that. Then we'll hold the volume up button and then press the power button. Now that'll look like it's done nothing, but that has essentially gone into RCM mode. So now what we're going to do is plug the USB Type-C, making sure it's a data transfer cable, plug that into it and into the PC, and then I'll show you the next step on the PC. So okay guys, we're back on the PC. We've got Tegra RCM open, and as you can see we are in RCM mode because it says RCM OK there, but obviously I've skipped a step because I've already done this bit. But what you need to do first when you open this software, I should have mentioned it earlier, but you need to go on settings, then you need to click install driver and just quickly run through the wizard. It takes literally 30 seconds to do that. And then once the driver's installed, everything should work fine. Okay, so back to here. So now what we need to do, click on here, we need to navigate to that folder where all the switch stuff is. In here, and then we need to choose this payload.bin. Open that, and we click inject payload. Okay, and now we'll move back over to the switch for the next step. Okay, so back on the switch, you can now see it has loaded this Hecate menu, so it wants us to quickly set the date and time, so I'll just do that real quick. And yes, I'm doing this at just gone midnight, why not? Okay, configuration was saved to SD card. So what we need to do first, go to emuMMC. We need to create an emuMMC partition. I'm going to choose SD partition. Yeah, ignore the little blue line going across there. That's a problem with my Switch. Their screen's a little damaged. You want to partition the SD card? Yep, continue. Okay, and this emuMMC, we're going to drag this up to 29, which is what you'll do for normal switch and switch lights. For OLED switches you'll drag it to 58. So that says 29 full now. So we'll click next step and click start. Safety where it ends, 3, 2, 1, and press power button to continue. Okay, I'll give this a few minutes, I'll pause it and I'll be back. Okay, that's done. That didn't actually take that long, that bit took about 30 seconds. But it's the next step that does take a good few minutes. So now we'll come out of there. We need to go on. Let me try and remember this. Yeah. Tools, partition at no, I've just done that bit. Where do we go? Oh yeah, emuMMC, create emuMMC, then we choose SD partition, part 1, click start, and this will probably take about 15 minutes, so I'm going to pause it here and we'll be back when it's done. Okay guys, we're on 99% now, it should be done any second. Okay, there we go, that is now done, so we can click close, and then close from there. Now what we can do now is go to tools, USB tools and SD card. Now we can plug the switch into the PC and we can actually see what's on the SD card, so we're going to have to copy those files back on because it may have removed some while I was doing the partitioning and what have you. So we'll see you over on the PC for that bit. So as we plug it in, yeah, it now says started UMS. Okay, so we'll see you over on the PC again. Right, okay guys, back on the switch. We can now click close on here as it says disk ejected. Close out of that. Go on home and launch. Okay, now I'll just tell you what each one means quickly. So the one on the right hand side, that's to go back into the main stock firmware. The left one is for custom firmware for the system NAND, so that's like in the custom firmware on the actual system hardware itself. Yeah, it is a bit complicated to explain it. And then the middle one is like a standalone thing, which is like a copy of the system, but it's a standalone, so you could do whatever with that and it won't really have like any consequences for the switch. So I would usually boot into that one to be safe. Okay, you can see we're loading. And yeah, I should point out it's got the custom theme on there for better gaming. So a shout out to their YouTube channel. I'll put a link to that to them as well. There's some excellent content on modding switches and how to do stuff, etc. Now this is taking its time to load. Just because it's its first time. Right, okay guys, I am back. Yeah, so that version, whatever was provided from whatever his name was with that other YouTube channel, it didn't seem to be working with my switch. I don't know if it was something custom is put on there, but yeah, it just wouldn't load properly. So what I've done is I've put together my own version for you. You'll be able to get that from my Discord, and this one does work for me. So exactly the same process as what I showed you earlier. I've just changed the version, that's all. And I mentioned earlier that the emuMMC was in the middle. With this one it's not, it's on the left. So I'm going to choose that. Okay, you get that, that means it's loading. Okay, that's it, it's loaded. Now just ignore all these games, these are what I got on the official Switch firmware, so you can ignore them. Now to get in to the all the custom firmware is you go to album, or if you go back on the home screen you can hold R while launching the game. Keep holding R, keep holding R. Okay, that's not going to work because the game's not actually installed. But when you've got an installed game, if you hold R and select the game, it also puts you into that menu. But anyway, we've got all these on here, including tinfoil. Now, if you launch tinfoil normally, it's not going to work. So the way to install it on this version is to open Gold Leaf, go to Explore Content, SD card, then choose this one, tinfoil.nsp, click install, choose SD card. Okay, it's given an error because I'm missing the SIG patches. Well, what I'll do, I'll include the SIG patches that you need, and then you won't get that error. Okay, so you guys shouldn't get this error because I will include the SIG patches you need. Now, yeah, this is the way you have to install tinfoil, because as I say, it's a bit buggy at the moment. There might be some updates in like later firmware as it gets updated, but for now it is what it is. I can't show you how to get any like free games or anything like that for obvious reasons. All I'm going to say is Google is your friend for that. But yeah, that is pretty much it. That is how you install custom firmware on a Switch. And just to show you, it is custom firmware. If you go into the system settings and system, as you can see there, Play Focus, current system version 21.2.0 emuMMC. That does mean it's custom firmware. So yeah, there you go guys, that's pretty much it. I do hope you found this video useful, hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one.